good, my loves? Lovely soul Empress here. I had to jump on. I really have like a million things to do, but I had to jump on. What's good, Brianna? So let me just say, first off, what's good, Miss Lois Wisdom? What's good, Tawanda? I have to do something while I am talking to y'all. Okay. Okay, that should have did it. There we go. Things are escalating, and for those of you that are in the group, I had put a comment this morning pretty much talking about the fact that about now, but really I think closer to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have Venus, Mars, and the Sun standing together. Okay? And this, I feel like this energy is going to amplify. It's all in Capricorn, right? Amplification. Okay? I also feel like Capricorn, also it's foundations, right? So I feel like things need to be cleared out to be built anew. This could be like earth shaking in a sense. Think earthquake could get that energy, that kind of thing. Volcanic, right? Eruptions, that kind of thing, right? But as well, I want you to think of it like, let's say the husband and the wife is going to therapy, and this is the session, right? Where all of the skeletons are going to come out. And then there's a decision based on that new information. Right? And not just based on that new information, but maybe in light of that new information, there is a re-examination of what is solid and what is no longer able to hold or bear weight. Foundations. Okay, also hearing at capacity. So why did I just pull up on y'all right the fuck now? Well, I don't know. There's two stories that I don't know if you've heard since this morning. And I think they're fucking relevant. We're going to talk about them in a second. But I'm sure y'all have already heard that 5 states are going to be having their funds towards daycare frozen. 5 Democratic states. Forget which ones they are. Right? Also, this morning, in a situation in Minnesota, I encourage you guys to go look for the footage yourself. Make sure that you see all 3 angles. There's 3 different angles so far that have been discovered of this particular incident. Make sure you go see them before this information is removed. But turns out, and I'd like to know more about the woman. But it seems like there was a protest or some type of situation where they were trying to prevent ICE from doing something. The video doesn't claim that. The woman is blocking the road with her vehicle. ICE wants her to get out of the way. There is a ICE officer. I want to say I saw 3 angles. Maybe there's more. There's an ICE officer to her left front fender who is about 50 feet away. She has 2 ICE officers flanking her on foot that just got out of a Tahoe truck, approaching her left passenger, her left driver's door. One officer is trying to forcibly open her vehicle. 2 other, I guess, activists are coming around her right side of the vehicle and another officer on that side. She tries to reverse to get away from the 2 ICE agents that are flanking her left car door. The one that is trying to open the door starts trying to forcibly force his way into the vehicle. As she reverses so she can drive away towards the right. Remember, I said there's an officer about 50 feet off to the left. As she reverses to try to go off to the right, the gentleman that is 50 feet ahead of her shoots her in the head. 3 shots ring out. Okay. There's been a statement that's come out that's saying that they're viewing the woman as a domestic terrorist. Everyone needs to view the video for themselves so they can determine what it is that they see. I was going to come on to talk about it because I feel like this is a flashpoint that will be probably erupting by tonight. I feel like even if it doesn't erupt by tonight, I feel like by this weekend, with the planetary influences that I have been talking to my Patreon group about, this is going to be the Venus and Mars love and war. I feel like, and we're going to talk about something else too, but I feel like part of what we need to discuss here is what wins out, in a sense, right? Standing for what you love or what you believe in, and the authority, right? And how that plays out, and what can be seen, what will be said, and how the public will interpret this is still left to be said or seen. But I don't want us to lose sight of other situations, because I thought, let me go and look in the Google and just put in breaking news and what would come up. And while I was checking to see what was coming up about this incident, another story came up where we have, I guess the word would be commandeered or taken over, an oil tanker that might have been a black market, or that's the claim of the story. Like I said, I am only giving you what Google will give you at this point, okay? And that this might have been a vessel that belongs to Big Red, and that Big Red's army or military was trying to assist this vessel from being taken over, but it was taken over. And if it is his, and how the fuck is that going to play out? What's good, April? Right? And so let's say it is his ship. And now we haven't just taken a vessel from, let's say, Venezuela, or blew up a vessel of theirs. No, what we've done is maybe taken an adversary's vessel by force. And how will that play out as we approach the 9th? And what that looks like over this weekend, and what will be the response to both incidences that I have just brought up to you. Did any of yous hear about these stories, either of these stories this morning? Let's see. What are they saying now? Live updates. U.S. intercepts Russian flagged tanker. Okay? That's the headline. U.S. forces seize 2 tankers. Rubio lays out plan for Venezuela. As U.S. forces boarded a Russian flagged tanker and a second ship. Right? So Europe draws a red line on Greenland after a year of trying to pacify Trump. Trump administration's new nutrition guidelines target ultra-processed foods, eats up on red meat and saturated fats. What's good, Mel? Somebody out of the administration, they say Wright, I don't know who that is saying Energy Secretary Chris Wright said Wednesday that the United States will sell Venezuelan oil indefinitely. Listen, the seizing of 2 vessels of an adversary's country, not just any adversary, but Russian vessels, can definitely be seen as an escalation. Back to the story of the woman who got shot in a situation that arose between her and ICE. It turns out that that woman is a citizen of the United States. I don't think any of this is going to go good. I feel like from what is seen on the vantage point of the 3 videos that I saw of the shooting with the ice, she might have panicked and tried to back away and get away from them. I mean, but at the same time, she was not towards headed. And from my vantage point, I would have to see, a 4th video from a different perspective. But from the 3 videos that I saw, it looked like she was trying to get away from them because the man was getting ready to bust her window out. And that man had that other officer had he was brandishing his weapon. And I don't know if I would have necessarily, if I would have chosen to shoot into a vehicle in that way. But I'm not an ICE agent, nor would I be. In regards to the situation with the vessels, I think that we are being heavily censored and we can't see the global reaction to Maduro's arrest. I feel like Maduro has been known to be a dictator. I think that 2 things can be true. He could be a bad guy, and it's not our responsibility to police third world nations, right? Or not so much third world nations, but parties or countries that are not part of our sovereignty, right? And I feel like we have a system here that is going to favor our system, if you understand. So I'm going to put it to you in another term. I'm going to give it to you in gamblers terms or Las Vegas terms, right? The house always wins, right? So if you understand that no matter on the win or the lose, the house always wins, then you understand that the system's already set up to benefit the one that holds the most chips, which, 9 times out of 10 is us, whatever we might think of that. And so there's other ways that could have probably been used as we know, because it's been used in other places to extract certain outcomes. And the fact that the outcome that was chosen was to be the most aggressive possibly, right, has put us in a situation. And I was listening to another gentleman, and his perspective was very valid. What he was saying, and I just, right now I'm in a position of listening to many concepts and ideas. What's good, Cynthia? Sorry. Right? So this gentleman was basically saying that our internal problem here in the United States has become a global problem. And that there has been a paradigm shift, and this grabbing for power, whether we feel it's warranted or not, let's leave that there. This will cause other countries who are adversaries of ours, whether right or wrong, to make land and land grabs, but also grabs for like oil or silver or whatever, right? Because if we are ready, again, back to the Vegas language, if we already have a system that favors us, then this means that we have stacked the deck, right? In a way where we're going to get something off of every transaction. Okay? For those of you who watched The King of New York, he said, y'all got fat while I was away, but not a nickel bag gets sold in the park without me getting part of that. Right? So the system has run in that way for a minute. So if there's other adversaries that are constantly finding themselves, no matter what they do, coming up short, and then we do something like this, whatever we might think of that, then just out of sheer survival, don't they have to do something like that too, to grow exponentially with us, or else find themselves at a larger detriment? I just want you to think about that for a minute, because when the dude made the point, I thought that was valid. So he went further, to say that the way that the public here is trying to respond to these crises has been to avoid physical confrontation and to try to use, for lack of a better word, Venus or love's frequency to use more passive ways to show our disapproval with certain decisions. And you could say that there's been this struggle for a minute. But he went on to say that if we stay in this moment of, some might say indecision, others might say in resistance, right? Then we leave outside forces no other choice. And that once that happens, then the repercussions of that brings exactly what we did not want to our doorstep. Because except with the exception of 9/11, but also of Pearl Harbor, we have not had those types of situations happen here on this soil. I said to you guys in like the last week, and I don't know, I think I brought it up twice, and I don't know if I brought it up in the public readings. I know for sure that I brought it up in the private readings, that there was a woman, and that I wasn't sure if the woman was a woman of power, if she came to power, if there was something that happens with her and that causes a situation, or she's the like, and I feel like this woman in the ICE situation just may be that. I kind of was thinking that it might have something to do with Venezuelan's vice president being sworn in, or Machado, because she was the one that supposedly won the election. And, you know, there are other women floating around in this circle, but I feel like this Venezuela is a flashpoint because it draws other countries in a way that we weren't paying attention to. And then I feel like this woman in Minnesota is a flashpoint because she's a citizen. And it looked like some people were surrounding him or surrounding that area like almost immediately. Okay, so we're just going to pull a little something. I don't plan to be on crazy long, but I wanted to come on and tell you guys, especially to my Patreoners, as I said to you this morning, that this weekend coming, there's some big energy, and you know, we have to decide how we're using this frequency, or else this energy is going to come in regardless. How we respond to it is going to be a thing. Okay, so let's just take a look at the blockage in the next couple of days. Let's say through to Sunday. Let's take a look. Spirit, can you show me? Wealthy man. There goes a main female. Mature man. False person, toil and labor, and privileged lady. At the bottom of the deck is the house. Thoughts, adjudication, journey, bad health, and poorhouse, imprisonment. Okay. So I feel like this main female over here, first off, I feel like these are the two storylines. Okay. So I feel like this main female, you know, I don't know what ethnicity she is. I feel like this card here is, you know, the old one right now. Okay. So you got false person. Okay. I feel like with this false person, I feel like they're going to try to paint a specific narrative here with this woman, with the toil and labor. Okay. It was 9 o'clock in the morning and she was, you know, trying to assist some type of blockade of ICE. Now, whether this is a situation that she just ran up on, but I feel like it might have been more coordinated because there were other protesters outside, right? And privileged lady. So let's just say that it's quite possible that this woman is a longtime activist or some type of privileged activist or some type of immigration attorney or immigration advocate. Okay, could come out that her story is not going to match the narrative. Okay. She could be attached to like legal aid or something like that. Okay. A house here with thoughts and adjudication. There could be something that occurs that causes, first off, I feel like there could be continued arrests in that intersection, or continued escalation. I feel like there could be two different versions, as there will be. Okay, I feel like they could demonize both of them, actually. Like, in other words, what do I mean by that? They could say, well, she was trying to get away from them. She shouldn't have done that. However, when they look at dude's background, it's not squeaky clean. I feel like he's got a record, or he's got something, a DUI or something that makes him seem like not the best candidate for the type of work that, right? There's journey here with bad health and courthouse. I feel like as something progresses, it feels like something kind of escalates there. Okay, also, there are individuals who want another outcome. Journey, bad health, courthouse, and imprisonment. Okay. There's people who are concerned about how things are happening, and what that's going to look like, and the message of concern in the family room and the coffin. I feel like there's something else here about situations birthing repercussions. And I feel like certain people shouldn't think that they have it all worked out, because I feel like they stacking the deck to make sure that the house always wins. And how do I put this? When people get desperate because they're back against the wall in some way, like they're willing to go further, and sometimes it's dangerous to overestimate one's power. Okay, so I feel like that is a problem right now. and somebody is making a determination whether they should make a move on something or whether they should just wait and let something implode on its own. And this nation that is thinking that, they've been around for a very, 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 very long time. And they know that sometimes it's in their best interest to just wait it out. However, they are considering whether, you know, whether it's time yet. I feel like some internal voices are saying, no, wait a little longer. Let's just get a couple more, then I'm out of here. I wasn't planning to stay on, but I wanted to bring up this energy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even as of tonight already, as we come into this energy and approaching this energy. Now, how could this also shake out? Let's say that we're not gonna take it, right? You see a crowd forming, it's nighttime, right? And some kind of pullback. So you've got the Nine of Cups, the Emperor, the Six of Wands, the Woman. See? The Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the King of Wands, the bottom of the deck, with the Queen of Swords, and the Six of Cups, and the Page of Cups, and the Five of Cups. So I feel like they try to get away with a particular narrative. I feel like they do spin it a specific way. I feel like it doesn't really hold up over days. Like under scrutiny, like to the ear from the outside, it might sound good, right? But when they start matching up the details, there's a hole in it. Okay, she may have children. Okay, the Empress in the World. This is a forced consequences type frequency where we're, as a collective, we're forced to see the underbelly of action and inaction. Okay, what happens when you overreach? What happens when you don't do enough? We're going to presently see that this week. And this is probably going to determine how the collective comes into the understanding. Remember, we're finishing out Uranus in Taurus, right? An understanding of what we actually value. Do we value, democracy? Do we value personal freedom, right? Something is escalating on all fronts to show us what we think is really important. Nine of Cups with the Emperor here, the Six of Coins, and the Ten of Sticks, okay? So there's something here about money, hardship on others, the Emperor having no clothes and wanting to make some money, okay? Hierophant is at the bottom of the deck. The judges, I think, are going to go against him. I think they're going to go against him because they feel like if they don't go against him, then within the system, then external, like the adversaries, are forced to address it. So it's like this could be the Court of Nine trying to rein back some of this overreach. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be successful, but I feel like they could be trying to send that message. Okay, the Emperor. Why is the Emperor here again, please? Can you show me? The Emperor with the Page of Cups, and the Mother of Coins. His words are not going to be sufficient or something. Feels like the apology is not big enough or something like that. There's a lack of accountability. Queen of Pentacles, okay. I don't know what the woman's backstory is. I feel like that's coming, okay. I feel like they're going to try to talk about her like, you know, bad. I feel like with the Seven of Wands, with the Ace of Sticks, there's going to be some type of like response to that, okay. Six of Wands, Spirit, why is the Six of Wands here? Something's unexpected, and I feel like it's going to bring a lot of attention, okay. With the Two of Swords coming out here crossed, we also know that you know, there's individuals that don't want certain information to come out, and you know, any kind of this person might have felt like any kind of, there's no bad energy or there's no bad publicity, or there, right? As long as we're not looking over there, it's all good, right? Ace of Coins, and we get a chance of money, and Ace of Coin and Ace of Cups. But the Five of Sticks, something here was unexpected. It's like a side, it's born of the void. It is a side consequence, okay? Four of Pentacles. Somebody needs to hold with restraint, okay? Whether that's us, somebody else, you know. Four of Pentacles. What is this? With the Mother of Sticks, okay? So I feel like one side may try to pile on a narrative. They probably could have got away with more if they'd have said less, allegedly. I feel like they're going to go for the gusto, and I feel like this woman's reputation precedes her, or it feels like she's maybe protested before, or she's well known, or her husband is well known. Or it feels like I said, she might be an advocate or something, okay? Temperance, right? Like somebody who works for legal aid or immigration or volunteers or something. Like the story doesn't sound good, okay? Eight of Cups is here. Spirit, why is this Eight of Cups here? With the Three of Pentacles. So Eight of Cups, okay, I feel like they might actually take out that agency from that city because of this situation. Because the situation it escalates as the Three of Pentacles, okay, with the Seven of Coins in reverse. This is not, listen, I don't give a fuck. If you don't give a fuck, we don't give a fuck, right? This is like the crowd saying, nah, we ain't gonna, nah, fuck that, okay? Seven of Wands, right? You see all the sticks pointing? Conflict, right? Fiery tempers. The Strength card, this woman could have helped many people in some way. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, she could be respected, okay? With the Four of Coins, okay? So something about restraint, okay? With the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This person could get put on leave. They could be bitching about, well, he's on leave, but he's still getting paid. Two of Wands. Okay, they could be trying to stand by him because they don't want to make it an issue and seem like some kind of weakness. But something, Nine of Knives, it doesn't hold up the way they want it to. And the Lover's card is here. And the Justice card, okay? I told you, I don't know who her husband is if she's married, but I feel like something comes back around. Okay, with the Queen of Swords here and the Six of Cups, I feel like she's a long-standing activist in some way. Okay. Three of Baskets, okay, with the High Priestess, okay? I feel like this is like a turning point, again, a flashpoint, like I said, okay? This is the Magician. If you see the wand says power on it. 4 baskets, okay? 4 of swords. Okay, they're hoping that this cycles out of the news. But just as something else is dying down or getting quiet, the other situation, maybe with the tankers, takes off. I feel like either way you turn, there's some negativity. And all stories are kind of bad. You know, there's been like a trend online of certain, you know, individuals saying that they're ready for civil conflict. And sadly, you know, hopefully we don't get to that. But I feel like flashpoints are coming. This could be both internally or externally. Yeah. Make sure you have your stuff. I keep telling you guys this, and today, tomorrow, no later than Friday, have your things. Some groceries, right? Because I feel like situations a flashpoint could happen at any fucking point right now. Okay? All right, guys, that's what I have for you guys. And for my Patreoners, you know, we can continue this conversation offline, but something to think about. Okay, guys, I'm wishing you light and love and blessings on blessings. Bye.